Well, are journalists born or made? I mean, that is a question that we ourselves in the academic field and also in the journalism profession ask ourselves. We try to think that we can make journalists, and which is why students come to us for training. But one cannot deny that there are some students who come to us really quite formed. They are very interested in finding out what's happening out there, and that's what we want to see. We want to see the spark in the students' eyes, and so it just needs a little bit of tweaking on our part, obviously getting them to learn the basics. Of course, as a university, we want to train them to be ethical journalists as well. That's a very, I suppose, controversial issue as far as the journalism profession is concerned. So we want graduates who are ethical practitioners. And of course, with the new equipment and technology coming out, they might have already the basics of journalism. We just add on to this knowledge so that they can be the whole package as far as being good journalists for the future. I would ask you how committed you are to being a journalist, because it's not an easy job, and it's really a responsibility that you take upon yourself to be the medium. That's what we are. Media being the medium between, those who have power and those people who have less power. And so it's as we say, it's a social responsibility that you take on as a journalist. Now, I would encourage the student and say, look, if you are committed, if you are interested in things around you, then you would be ideal for this course. You don't have to be the best in English or the brightest in maths or science. It's really more of your curiosity about the world that's important for a journalist. Wanting to be in the thick of things. I mean, that was one of the things that I wanted to be when I was growing up. I wanted to be first to know and to know people who know. It's a big responsibility, but it's also a privilege being a journalist. And so if you have that desire to do that type of work, then by all means come to JCU and do a Bachelor of Multimedia Journalism degree, because that's what we will train you to be. Most of our graduates do end up in the media because that's what they're trained for. But that's not to say that they can't go into any other job. In fact, some of them do end up in internal communication offices. I mean, every communication office or every large, middle-sized organization, company or organization now has an internal communication office, because as you know, information is key. So if you are the expert, and that's our student, they are the experts in communication. The exchange commodity now is information. It's not really just money, it's information. He who has the knowledge has the power, or so they say. And so if you're able to represent that company to their external publics, and as well as maintain the smooth communication internally within the company among employees, then you are an asset to that company. You are an asset to that organization. So, it's something that our students are uniquely placed for, because that's a job that is now very much evident in every company, every organization. So the skills that they learn are absolutely transferable. They don't necessarily have to go into media if they don't want to. They can go into corporations, corporate work, corporate comms, marketing, public relations. We do have a strong marketing relations subject as well. And so, I think that places the student in good stead as far as the skills that they need to get employed out there.